Welcome back to Punch Plan, where fighting meets entertainment. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul have responded to their fight being scripted. Tyson Fury has broken down Jake Paul's fight with Mike Tyson, given his prediction and more, which you can find in the timestamps below. Tyson Fury has recently addressed the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, kind of talking about the criticism that this fight has had recently. It's definitely not looked at as the most prestigious fight in boxing, to say the least, as there's criticism about Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson at 57, 58 years old, with Tyson responding to the critics saying only the fighters who are not getting paid and not getting laid are criticizing this fight. They're the fighters who are jealous, negative people who are not making any money and are not set to gain anything from this fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. I think it's fantastic. I think this creates a lot of money, one for Texas, selling out all them tickets, and that means drinks, alcohol, food, and beverages. Everything for the local area, big influence and dollars being spent in the local area. And then you got obviously all of Mike's team are being fed and all of Jake's team is being fed out of it. So there are a lot of mouths being fed, a lot of people's rent are being paid, so I don't know what's to be negative about it. So Tyson not really buying into the criticism and the hate and the negativity towards this fight. Regardless, it's gonna be big, people are gonna watch, it's gonna bring a ton of eyes to the sport, with Tyson Fury saying that he is excited for this upcoming fight. Mike Tyson hasn't been in the ring as a professional for 19 years. It's been that long since he last had a professional fight. And about 4 years ago, he headlined an exhibition match against Roy Jones Jr., where even Jake Paul was on that undercard, but now finally making his return against Jake Paul, with Tyson Fury saying, "I'm over the moon for it, looking forward to it. I get to see the legend Mike Tyson back in the ring in my era. That's fantastic. I already saw one against Roy Jones Jr. It was fantastic, so I get to see him again, live and exclusive as an adult. What a treat." Everyone is 100% going to be on the edge of their seat watching Mike Tyson fight live once again, and this is definitely going to be a huge spectacle. With Tyson Fury also addressing kind of YouTube boxing, as well as Jake Paul and Logan Paul specifically, bigging them up for what they've done both in and outside of the boxing ring. With Tyson saying, and then you got like Jake Paul, him and his brother have done fantastic, you know. I know we've got a rivalry going on with Tommy Fury and that, but I gotta speak it how I see it. Jake and Logan have done absolutely fantastic for themselves, from becoming like young kids to being multi-millionaires and YouTubers and wrestlers and boxers and everything else, and entertaining the world. I know they've got a lot of haters and stuff, however, I am not one of them. I'm a fan and I support it. I support people going in and making lots of millions of dollars out of boxing, my sport, and it only makes it better for young people who don't get paid, because more people will see the fight and be interested and think, you know what, I'm gonna watch a young kid I don't even know. It might be a good fight, so more eyes to the game, and it's just better. These guys are bringing a new type of audience to the sport of boxing, something that we haven't really seen before, a social media aspect, influencer side. For a couple years now, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, KSI, guys like that have just come into boxing and made a splash. Because they have that existing audience that are going to watch them and support anything they're doing. Boxing is no different, and that audience transferred over, bringing new eyes to both the sport and themselves. Tyson Fury has put out his prediction for the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Speaking to Ariel Helwani, he has recently given his thoughts on the upcoming matchup between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, saying who he is backing going into this fight.
Do you have a sense as to who's going to win? Who do you think is going to win? It's kind of a hard one to call, right?
Is it going to be an actual decision, or is it an exhibition, or what?
No,
I'm not sure.
It's a pro fight, 14-ounce gloves, but 2-minute rounds, 8 2-minute rounds. But it's pro. Like there's no restrictions, no stipulations. There's none of that.
Listen, if Mike Tyson, it's anybody. Don't care if he's 90. He's going to knock him out cold, isn't he? It's I am Mike Tyson. He's the baddest man on the planet, you know. And Jake Paul's obviously, he's very experienced now. He's had a lot of tough fights. He's had a lot of good fights. So, and he's probably a quarter of the man's age. But obviously, I have to back Mike Tyson. I'm named after the legend, and I back him.
Fair
as
enough.
He always backs me. I'm backing Mike for the knockout. Come on, Mike!
Yes.
We know Jake Paul previously fought Tyson's own brother in Tommy Fury last year, and now is going into the ring against Mike Tyson. With Tyson backing Mike Tyson, I mean, how can't he? He's literally named after him. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with Tyson's prediction here. Jake Paul's manager has recently spoken out on the upcoming fight against Mike Tyson, with Nikisa Badirian being Jake Paul's longtime boxing manager pretty much since the start of his boxing career. They started a promotion together, Most Valuable Promotions, and have continued to put on event after event over the last couple of years, from Jake Paul fights to now other shows on DAZN, with Nikisa saying, for all you haters that try to say this fight ain't real, that it's scripted, get a grip, man. That's the baddest mother... man on the planet in Mike Tyson, taking on the biggest disruptor that's ever touched the sport of boxing. This is as real as it gets. Two guys are going in, one's gonna come out victorious. Following it up saying this:
I bet you one of them is going to touch the canvas because I know how they're thinking about this fight. Let's go.
Jake Paul's own manager saying that he bets one of them will touch that canvas in that ring, in that fight. But the question is, will it be Jake Paul or will it be Mike Tyson, or will it be both? Some big fights have been announced for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, as the fight card is looking big, going to be on a huge spotlight on Netflix, the first boxing event that's going to take place on Netflix. With of course us knowing the main and co-main events already being Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, as well as Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor 2, the rematch. A sequel to one of the biggest fights in women's boxing history that happened 2 years ago in 2022 between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, headlining MSG. With more fights being announced, Darren Till is making his return to combat sports against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., the son of legendary Mexican boxer Julio Cesar Chavez. As well as another fight being announced which is pretty big in the pro boxing world. Ashton H2O Silva will be taking on Kid Austin Floyd Schofield, a battle between two big prospects, MVP versus Golden Boy, and it's cool to see these kind of matchups happen this early into these guys' careers. Jake Paul has been told shame on him, as death comments spark some strong backlash, with Jake recently having put out a message to Mike Tyson saying, "I love the guy, but as soon as it turned into a pro fight, one of us has to die." He's taking this very, very seriously, and that's what's going to make the fight amazing for all of the fans. With Michael Bisping actually chiming in and giving his thoughts on what Jake Paul said to Mike Tyson, saying shame on him for saying that. Shame on him for saying and taking these words so lightly, because the reality is a lot of boxers die every single year. It's not a game that you play. You don't pick up and put it down. You're not a part-time boxer, okay? This is a real sport, a deadly sport, one of the most vicious, and it's a sport where a lot of people die every single year. Bisping with the unfortunate truths about the sport of boxing. It is very dangerous, not a game to be played, but you have seen these kind of antics and these trash talk moments from all kinds of different fighters in different situations. So let me know if you think Jake Paul crossed the line here. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul have responded to claims that this fight is going to be rigged, with Turki Al-Sheikh recently putting out a message to Mike Tyson saying, "Please brother Mike, forget the script and beat this guy," referring to his fight against Jake Paul, alluding to the fact that there is a script put in place here, with a lot of people saying that Jake Paul is going to win because he paid Mike Tyson off, with Mike Tyson himself saying this fight isn't scripted, as some haters in the boxing community want you to believe. This is a sanctioned fight and I'm going to knock Jake Paul out. Jake Paul responding as well, saying, "I love you Mike, but you were the one getting knocked out," and the haters saying it's scripted. So both Jake Paul and Mike Tyson speak out on this fight being scripted, pretty much just denying it outright, calling the people who say that haters. Do you guys think this is going to be a real fight, and what do you think of all the stories that we shared today? This is the first kind of video that I'm doing in this format. Leave down below what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Take care and peace out.